Welcome to The Walk-In, a podcast where doors stay open and stories unfold one conversation at a time. Hosted by Christopher Michael Sean, author, poet, actor, and lifelong student of people and purpose. Here, you're more than just a listener. You're part of the room, part of the story. In every episode, someone sits down, breathes deep, and shares what drives them, what keeps them moving, and what keeps them dreaming. This is a space for dreamers, doers, and those still finding their way. So pull up a chair, pour something warm, and let's take a walk into the soul.
See, that's the really cool part. So as soon as I hop into a call with you, I'm already recording.
I wasn't warned. No, seriously. No. On that note,
listen, but it's just the thing is, the first 10 minutes we might just be easing into shit. I might use one or two things, but
sure.
Yeah, as soon as you're in this little like recording cafe, that's whenever I'm like, we're recording, because who knows? I'll be honest, I might say something that's really good. You might say something that's really good, but no, this is literally just us hanging out, having a good time. There's no pressure, no nothing. And I think with a lot of people, okay, so there's this guy, his name is Champ, and he was a security guard at the store that I work at. And he was telling me, like, you shouldn't go around telling everybody, like, oh, I'm creating a podcast, or oh, I'm doing this, or I'm doing this episode. I'm like, why? He goes, well, because like they could steal your idea. What if I go start a podcast? I'm like, cool, go start a podcast. The whole point of my podcast is to inspire you to do whatever you feel you want to do, to chase your dreams. That's the whole point of me telling my story on my podcast. Is really, it's not my podcast, it's our podcast. This is our microphone, our stage, you know? So it's an opportunity for people to come in and tell me their story, tell the world their story, and give it a voice. Because I think whenever you put it out there in the universe, when you speak into that microphone and you're like, this is what I want, this is what my dream is, it's no longer just an idea in your head. It's now out there in the universe. And I think that there's a lot of power there, because then it's like you've done the scariest thing. You've taken the first step, which really is the hardest step, is the first one. After that, it's just a stride.
Yeah, and it's like, there's steps after each step, but I noticed that, like, I remember the first time I had to do a live directed session, I was throwing up beforehand. I was so anxious. And now I'm just like, this is what I do, So that first step really is tough, but there's always a new first step. And I think that can be exciting too, because then you just grow from there.
Yeah, I was looking at your TikTok and I saw like how many followers you have. Like I commented on your video because I was like, yeah, like, obviously I have to talk to a voice actor. Like that's literally me. Like, come on. So I commented on your thing. I didn't even see how many like followers and stuff. You got a big page. Like, what was it?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Whenever you first created that must have been really scary. Like to have like nothing. Like how has that been for you? Like going from nothing to having as many followers and such that you have.
Well, you know what? It doesn't really feel like that. And so I'm going to take you back to a time before, you remember Vine was amazing. That was the best. And before Vine, there was this little dinky app that nobody really knows called Dare. And it was similar, but you got, people would send you prompts. Instead of you just making your own videos, they would send you prompts, and then you'd respond directly to that, and their prompt would be the title of your video. And I was like the number 3 trending user on that for a while, which was crazy. It wasn't huge or anything, as far as apps go, but like there were enough people on there where like that felt good. That was cool. So that was kind of my first time feeling like I had, like you said, creating your own stage. I wasn't doing it for people to start. I was just being a silly goofball. Now come, TikTok now, I just, Dare got shut down a long while ago. They gave us all a message notification one day and said, yep, Friday we're getting shut down, and that was that. So, here I am on TikTok, and I was trying to do the same thing, just be silly, be goofy, and I find myself just not having as much energy for it recently. So that following that you see, it's like close to 6,000 now, which is, a lot for some people and not many for others. I'm grateful for it, but that came while I was just trying to be a silly goofball, really before I started my voice acting adventure. And then I kind of rebranded, and unfortunately I deleted a lot of those old videos that got me that following. I had a few like minor viral videos here and there that I was proud of, just being a goof. So I'm trying now to like get back into that, but like kind of on brand for myself, because there's a marketing game to it as well. I'm trying to be seen, I'm trying to be heard. But yeah, a lot of those followers are from my old days of just being like an 18-year-old goof.
Oh no, completely understand. My first so I had a TikTok page called Vinny. I think it was like Uncle Vinny is what I called it, and it was a lot of that similar energy of like the goofballness, and then it sort of evolved. So it came from my, like, hey, how the fuck you doing? Hey, what's going on over here? It's your Uncle Vinny.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I'd be like, hey, listen, kid, you're doing okay, all right? You don't believe in yourself right now, but you're gonna do good. And like I did one video where I said that. I was like, yeah, you're doing good, kid. All right, it's your Uncle Vinny. I'm always gonna believe in you. You can always come to me if you ever need to talk. And I did
Uncle Vinny's always got something to say.
yeah, Uncle Vinny's always got something to say. So I did that, and the video blew up, like thousands of likes, thousands of views, and I was like, whoa. Suddenly, my
Yeah.
page had 3,000 followers, and I didn't know what to do with that momentum. But I was like, yeah, okay, I'm Uncle Vinny now. This is what I'm doing. This is the main thing. I'm not doing other things. This is me. So I rebranded to just that. So I'm going on there, and I'm saying, hey, listen, I it's rough for you, whatever. I'm trying to motivate and inspire. I think that was like the first seed to what really evolved into this podcast. What ended up happening is that TikTok page, it fell off pretty hard, and it got quiet. I wasn't getting likes, I wasn't getting views, and I was dating this girl for a little while, and she wanted me to delete the page, whatever. So I ended up deleting it. She said that it was taking up too much of my life, and that was really a mistake. I feel like you should never sacrifice your dreams for someone else. Like if you're with someone, like they should be like pushing you towards your dreams, not away from them.
Yeah, the right person supports, and not everything's going to be perfect and aligned, but I feel like that's one of those trivial things where like the right person will support you and see your vision, even if they can't walk it with you, they can push you towards it.
Yeah, yeah, because you can't always have like there's no such thing as like a perfect partner. There's no such
Of
thing as
course.
that. There's no such thing as like, oh yeah, this person is just amazing in every way. But I do think that even if I might not understand my partner's vision, like yeah, helping them out with that. But yeah, you're right. There's a chemistry behind that.
And you mentioned momentum too, which is so big. You said your page fell off and stuff like that. That it really is momentum, because once you start getting a few likes, then you start getting a few more, and you got to keep it going. And I don't know about you, but it's so hard for me to keep up with that, to do it every single day, where it's like, I'm waking up and, I got to figure out food and dinner and chores, and I got to I got to make sure I show up to work. And sometimes a lot of times it's just all auditioning, and I'm doing the work. I am doing work and not being paid for that, because an audition is like, it's a job application. You don't know you're going to get that. And more times than not, you don't. Just statistically speaking, you're probably not going to get most auditions you do. So, then to just be like, yeah, I have to like produce this video for TikTok. And it's just like, sometimes you put in a lot of work to them and they just don't hit. And then the ones where you're just like being stupid for 2 seconds, those ones hit a little better. But even still, you can feel that algorithm cutting you off when your momentum rolls off. It's like, you haven't posted in 4 days. We're only going to show this to 200 people. You'll get 20 likes and you'll thank me for it. And I'm like, all right, I'm
and you'll
trying
be
here,
fucking
dude.
thankful for it, you stupid piece.
Yeah, I'm trying, man.
Exactly.
I'm trying.
No, that's exactly how it is. I think the benefit with, I don't know if TikTok does this, but with Spotify, because Spotify is where basically like I use the RSS feed from Spotify to where all of the other platforms automatically get an episode uploaded.
Yes.
Yeah. So whenever an episode
Yeah, I
uploads
did that
on
for
Spotify,
my first show, yeah.
yeah. So it's really cool. It automatically uploads to all the other ones. So I'm just scheduling ahead of time. So whenever I have a day like today where I'm just like, I've been sick, I've been out of it, I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna record. Even if I'm not in the mood, I'm gonna get myself in the mood, and I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna schedule a few episodes, really good quality ones, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And honestly, I feel like, yeah, you're not getting paid for it, but I feel like, at least me, as like somebody who loves creating and loves inspiring, the perk, the money that goes in my pocket is knowing that I'm putting breadcrumbs out there and I'm doing something that I love.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I really try to have so much fun with it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, you're good. You're good. No, and that's the thing, is like it is something it is a lot of fun. I'm curious though, like with you, so what was the original thing that got you into like voice acting specifically?
Oh, you
or
ready
like
to get
acting in
emotional?
general? Well, yeah, sure.
So, I feel like there's a similar story to most people in this kind of field, whether it be stage acting, theater, voice acting. I've just been doing this since I was a kid. I've been mocking my video games, and I've been like repeating lines, and I'll be watching The Emperor's New Groove and repeating what they say, and all my favorite movies. And it's just like, it was just fun for me. It just felt normal. And I grow up, and I'm doing gas station jobs, and I worked at fast food for a little bit, pizza place, delivery driver, and it was just like, I remember calling up one of my best friends on, it must have been like my 21st, 22nd birthday, somewhere around there. And I was just crying. I was having a bad night, a bad moment, alone on my birthday, just feeling like, what's the point? I'm not happy, man. I can't keep going to these jobs like this. And I started getting worn down over the years. What was happening was like, in hindsight, I think it was the ADHD brain, and I just didn't know at the time. That's a recent discovery for me in learning how to work with that. But what ended up happening was I was just burning myself out, showing up to jobs and not stopping. And it's like, where normal people can be like, I'm going to work and I don't like it, but I got to go to work. For me, it's like waking up at a specific time every day to go do something that has no emotional value to me for a specific amount of hours at a time. Like the scheduling, it just was miserable. And I was just sobbing to my friend, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be here. What's the point? I'm just surviving to survive. And he just said to me, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a voice actor. I don't know. Like, I never really thought about it, but that's just what I just love being goofy. It doesn't feel like work. That's what I want to do. And he said, well, why don't you do it? I said, I can't, dude. Like, I don't live in New York. I don't live in LA. I don't live near the anime dubbing studios in Texas. I don't have any connections. I don't have anything. And he said, shut up. He said, go. He said, buy yourself a rinky dinky little microphone and do it. Just try. And I was just so like, I can't. But like, I think I was just at rock bottom, where I was like, it can only really go up from here. It either doesn't work and I'm nowhere worse off than I was, or I just go for it. And I bought a little USB microphone, and now now as like, I do feel like a professional, which is great. I got my home studio here that I built and my friends helped me build. I got my nice big XLR, big boy microphone, but I started with that rinky dink little USB microphone. And I remember just, going on free casting sites, looking around, researching where to find work. And of course, it was all, passion projects at that time. They weren't offering money. I was basically doing, free work. But I remember I did 12 auditions. And I remember when I started classes, I remember my first teacher said, oh, don't be discouraged if you don't get, if you only get one in your first 100 auditions. That's normal. And I got cast for 3 out of my first 12. And something just hit me, and I was like, this is right. I'm supposed to do this. I'm like, this is what I want. And it's been really hard, Kris, because I feel like, not to complain about an industry I love so much, I really do, but I have my gripes being, I've been doing this for about 5 years, and I don't want to say on and off, but it kind of has been on and off. Like, I've had my breaks, I've had my my encouragements down or whatever it is, but I'm really like, these last 2 years, I've really been pushing it. And it's been tough because sometimes I feel like this industry doesn't want me here. I feel like, like, oh, we don't know you, we don't know your name, you don't have family in here, you don't have connections, oh, you don't have enough money to pay for all this type of coaching and stuff like that. And it really is just a personal grind, and it's spiteful in a lot of ways, where sometimes I'm just like, I can't do this. They don't want me here, man. And then I get angry, and then I try harder. I start, busting out some of the best auditions I've done because I want it. I'm hungry. Just trying to make it work,
Yeah, no, exactly. I think honestly, the realest thing out there is the fact that, like, yeah, you're discouraged. Here's the thing: we only see what the media puts out there. Like, whenever there's a TikToker that's doing really well in their career, that's awesome. But it can also be discouraging you know, because you're like, oh man, like I wish I could have that. I wish I could have a big break that's consistent. But
And people only show their highlight reels. You know,
right,
people that's all you see online, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever. You're seeing their highlight reel. They're not telling you how much they're struggling.
exactly. And there's an analogy that I use a lot, especially on the podcast, and it's my mountain analogy, right? So
Hmm.
everybody has their peaks, summits, and valleys, none of which are more or less valuable than the other. So we're all on our own mountain. So you're on a mountain, I'm on a mountain. Each of us has our own chapter, our own section of the mountain that we're on, you know? And, you know, you're going to have, you know, valleys. You're going to have moments where it feels like you're not going anywhere. And actually, somebody evolved my analogy the other day. It was my good friend Gunnar. He evolved it the other day. He said, it's interesting how in the valley, sometimes you feel like you're walking in the wrong direction, but somehow it can turn out that it's still the right direction. And the
You're still going
reason
somewhere.
is because you're still going somewhere. And that's the beauty of it, you know? You might spend years going in the wrong direction only to find out, oh my gosh, I've been going the right way this whole time. So I don't want to spoil the next episode where I'm actually going to talk about my acting journey. But I do want to say that I think you're really going to love it. There is a section where I talk about how I it has been inconsistent for me as well, very
Hmm.
inconsistent.
It's
There was
tough.
a like I was doing the voice auditions and stuff like that during COVID, which was very awkward. So fresh out of high school, I was an honor student in acting. I went to college. I got my degree. I got a certificate through John Casablancas. I got a contract through Model and Talent Management, and I was like, man, I'm on cloud nine. I've got so much momentum. I've got all this going for me. I'm getting emailed auditions from my agent, and this is great. And I was putting auditions out there, putting them out there, putting them out there, putting them out there. And I was getting Zoom calls with judges and directors and big people. And I was getting invited to these shows where like you go there and there's a runway and there's all this stuff. And you would think like, wow, he's doing amazing. Not a
Hmm.
single callback, no matter how much I put myself out there, no matter how many
Oh
auditions I
gosh.
placed. And that is really what killed me. And it was during COVID, which was honestly one of the most depressing times because you're sitting at home and you're not able to go out and do anything.
Hmm.
Um, and I I put acting on the back burner. I put romance and my relationship in the front seat. And I thought, well, I guess I'm just not meant to be an actor. And then a couple years later, you know, I had this big divorce and then I dropped everything and I came to New York. And what I've realized, and this is something that I think that kind of ties into what you said as well, where you were like, well, I'm not in New York. Well, I'm telling you, as somebody who's in New York, as somebody who is pursuing voice acting, doing this podcast, doing open mic nights, it doesn't matter where you are. And it's going to be hard as hell, no matter where you are. Um,
Yeah.
so where are you exactly, like in the U.S., if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm in Pennsylvania, right below you in the mountains up here.
Oh,
Very windy right
Pennsylvania.
now.
Oh
But yeah, it's
yeah.
just a small town nobody's ever heard of, and it's like, after COVID, because that's when I started around that time as well, in the voiceover industry, and it's I mean, what a time! It's, everything was remote all of a sudden, and I feel like the acting industry. I mean, granted, I was just getting into it. I feel like it kind of evolved there, where yeah, it doesn't really matter where you're from, but the other side of that is that there's so much competition. It's a very saturated market right now because anybody can do it from anywhere, and I feel like a lot of these roadblocks that we face, a lot of these like, oh, maybe acting isn't meant for me. I feel like that's the brick wall that kind of filters the people that are going to make it. Because there's people that are like, yeah, let me try this out. This is a fun hobby, and it's really not for them. I'm glad that they tried it. But then there's people, perhaps like me and you, where we're like, dang, I can't do this. And then you choose to climb that wall. And then you get to like, you know what I mean? Then you keep going and you keep growing. And now I look back and I'm like, wow, I felt like I was good, but some of that stuff was cringy compared to what I can do now. And I know in a year
Hmm.
I'll say the same about what I'm putting out right now?
One of these days, I'll go into the archive where I have those old Uncle Vinny videos, and I will post one,
Yeah.
and it will
Oh, I'd
be
love to see him.
awful. They're so cringe. No, I think that and that's the thing. The climbing that brick wall, it ties right back into my mountain analogy. I love what you just said because it really is going. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but then you're doing it anyways. You're doing it
Yeah.
scared. You know, the scariest thing for me ever was coming to New York, like 2,000 miles away from home. I literally slept in my car for 3 months. I had $1,000 to my name. I was technically jobless and homeless whenever I came to New York.
Hard reset, yeah.
Yeah, hard reset. And it was literally what you said. It was like, well, I'm at rock bottom. There's only one direction to go. Now that doesn't mean that everybody out there, if you want to chase a dream, hit rock bottom. That just means that like, hey, shift your mindset. I think that there's a beauty to shifting your mindset and going, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this.
Well,
You know?
rock bottom's a really scary place, but when you hit there, and I'm sorry if this sounds, like cliche, but really just having been there several times, it's like that's when something changes. And you can be so comfortable in your misery, and that doesn't mean that you're doing it to yourself. It really doesn't. It's just like there's this comfort in like this is how things are right now, but when you hit rock bottom, that's when something has to change, and it does. It does because there's no other option. And I was experiencing that too. I went through a really difficult breakup several years ago, and just with family drama, like I wasn't, they didn't want me back home, and I was like, I'm tired of playing these games. Like I just want a safe space to live and be alive and chase my dreams. That's all I want. And I didn't have that. And so I found myself in that same hard reset situation of like, not even where am I going to live next? It's just who's going to offer me shelter. And that's scary. And I feel like that's why I push myself so hard, is because it's not only that I feel like I have something to prove to myself, it's that so many people have helped carry me here. And I feel like I owe it to them to succeed at this. Like, I think about, this acoustic blanket ceiling in my booth here, like that somebody bought that for me when I had nothing. And like my first set of foam panels, somebody bought that for me when I had nothing. And I have to help make this work because people believed in me. I'm trying so hard to just believe in myself. And then, like you said, there's challenges right now. Like what I'm facing right now is, I was like, all right, I'm starting to get more money for this. And character work is my specialty. I love doing character work. I get shortlisted constantly for character work, which is just so rewarding that it feels like, I'm doing something right. But I was like, all right, character work isn't always super consistent. Let me try and branch out into commercial work. That's consistent. That's where they're like, here, read these 150 words for like 2 minutes of audio. We'll pay you $500. That floats you to the next character gig. And so I signed up for one of those, pay to play sites because I really, not to go on too many tangents, I would really like to start some coaching soon, more so for, you could always improve your acting. I'm always open to that. But more so for like how to properly edit and how to direct market. How do you direct market? What do people expect there? Do they have people that are like, all right, you just record and we have our audio engineers. We've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to work into that. But where I'm at right now is like, let me start with a pay to play site. The jobs are offered right to me and I can audition for them. And Kris, I'm getting shortlisted an amount that keeps me like I feel edged right now. It's like I'm getting shortlisted enough, mostly for character work, of course, but it there's commercial work that is fun and upbeat that I'm good at, and I get shortlisted and I'm like, okay, that means I'm liked, that means I'm competitive, that means that somebody is willing to hire me, and I keep getting beat out. I've gotten I think one job on that website this year, and I really feel like a failure for it because I didn't make my money back for signing up for that website. And my subscription expires in I think 2 weeks. I got it on sale for Black Friday last year. And I don't know what to do. It's like that's where the good money in these jobs are. What's going to give? Can I get one before then? I'm just grinding every day, putting out so many auditions to try and land something before the subscription ends because I feel like that was a wasted opportunity where I just couldn't land anything. And again, like the shortlists are there. That's telling me these people are hearing that and being like, oh yeah, that's good. We'd hire him. And then somebody beats me out. So maybe I just still have more work to do. Maybe I need more coaching, more, editing, processing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm scared now after November to go back to like, the free casting sites and scavenging through Reddit or Twitter. And I found good stuff on there, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like you have to find like the needle in the haystack essentially.
No, exactly. And I just want to say that you're doing everything really well. And it's a tough market. It's a tough game to play. John Casablancas was a something that was supposed to be like a coaching for me. It's supposed to teach me a lot of stuff about like how to market myself, how do I sell myself, how do I, do all this stuff. And I think what you're doing right now, it's exactly what I do, where you're not seeing consistent results, so you're like, let me push even harder. But it's a lot like a chainsaw. If you're cutting through a tree and you're not getting through the tree, if you rev the chainsaw up even more, it's gonna burn the chainsaw out, and then you're not gonna be
and
able to
I'm
cut
getting
down the
that
tree.
burnout.
You have to, maybe move the chainsaw out, find a different angle, or even just give it a break, or even just be gentle with yourself. I think you need to work on exactly what I need to work on. I need to give myself grace and understand that
Yeah.
I'm in this race and I'm doing okay. I'm doing more than what most people do. And even if, no matter how many times you hit rock bottom, it's back to that mountain analogy. You're climbing and you hit rock bottom, but it's a different rock bottom every single time because you've been through this before. You've been at that rock bottom before. You've been at a point, at a plateau where you're not making progress for a year. And that's okay. That's fine because you're still in the race, So I want to applaud you for the resilience because it's really, really, really hard to just be that resilient, to be that hardcore and just going, I feel like a failure, but I'm still going to show up, I think that, I think you're a great voice actor. I would argue that you're better than me.
Oh, I don't.
Not that I'm,
Everybody's got something separate to offer, but I really do appreciate that. But
no, like, and that's that's the
give yourself
thing.
grace, like you
No,
said.
hey, listen, I can do, great accents and great voices, but no, like listening to your content as it's been inspiring for
Oh,
me. I think
wow.
that honestly, I want to see you go back into the grind of it. But I think giving yourself grace and just like, you're doing great, man. I think you are. You're even if you're not seeing progress, I think one of the best things I've done with this podcast is ignoring the analytics. Because if I go and open those analytics and I'm like, oh, okay, we got a few views or we got a few downloads today, yeah. But if I give the energy that like we're the biggest podcast, like, okay, that's too egotistical. But if I'm in the middle, if I'm in the balance of it, going, I'm doing okay. I'm
Are
still
you
in the
having a good
race.
time?
I'm having a good time, and that's what really
Then
matters.
that's it. That
Yeah.
really is and that's really what drives things. And that's how I feel about work with voice acting. That's how I hope you feel about this podcast. Is if you're having a good time, I can't even just say that's all that matters. It kind of is, but it pushes things forward. If you're enjoying this, that's how you get places. That's how
Hmm.
you start moving.
If
At
you're
least that's how
enjoying
I
it,
feel.
yeah, if you're enjoying it, your audience is going to enjoy it, and that's what's going to bring the profit in. And I think that really that's a mantra for life. If you're enjoying it, other people will enjoy it. You know,
You share
and
that energy, it gets contagious.
yeah, it gets contagious. Absolutely. And I think that what you've done with your voice acting, where you're actually going out and you're getting gigs, you're getting jobs, you're getting these small bits. I think that's amazing. And I think honestly, you and I would love to have you on another episode to have you be a consistent guest,
Oh,
obviously.
that's so kind.
Um, but no, I think one of the things that I need to work on is to have kind of like a clan, like a group, find my own people. And you are literally my own people. We're both voice actors, we're both actors, and we're both in this climb to the top together. And it's back to that mountain analogy. We're all on our own mountain, but we can push each other
Mhm.
forward. So, hey, if you want to come to me one day and you're like, yo, I'm really feeling down or I really don't have any inspiration or motivation, yo, let's sit down and let's brainstorm. Let's read
You know,
some stuff up. It would be awesome to have an
I'd like to
episode.
offer.
Oh, what's
Go
up?
ahead. I'm sorry.
Go. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd like to offer that same. I'd like to offer that same handout to you because that's really special to me. Is not only are we both voice actors, but it's that wavelength. I don't know about you, but with people, you feel it. It's either hi Mark, yeah, good to see you. Oh God, or it's I get this person and this person gets me, and I feel that this feels like a very safe space where I can feel that that wavelength that it meshes. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but I remember starting out in voice acting, uh, a lot of it felt really clicky, high school clicky, where you have all these people on Twitter and they find their groups and you're like, oh, I've seen that name before, and they're all, we do this and we do that, and it's like, I'm not going to call them the hobbyists. Like that's not fair. There's the people that really are putting themselves out there, but there's cliques, and I've noticed that, and I feel I sometimes feel left out of that. I feel like no matter how hard I try to say like, "Hi, I'm here too, and I'd love to sit at your lunch table with you. I'd love to talk about these things." Sometimes I feel that like gaze of just like, "You're not welcome at our lunch table. You're not one of us."
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because really what I would love in this industry is to look at somebody, look at a peer. And I've had people like this, which is great. I'm very grateful. But to look at a peer and say to them, "Hey, you're succeeding where I'm struggling right now. Are you willing to offer me a hand, to show me, to guide me? I could use this help, and maybe I could help you with something else." I don't think we get that enough. I think there's like this surface level. This extends past voice acting, even really. This is life. But I feel like there's the surface level, like, yeah, I'd love to help you, but I really want to get ahead. And I don't think I feel that way because I think about these 5 years and I think there's times where I've seen auditions pop up and I'm like, I can't do this one. And you know, you never know. You try anyway for the most part. But then there's somewhere I'm like, I really can't do this one. For example, I got on this show and the director was like, "Hey, we wrote in this new character. He's like, you know, a 12-year-old little boy or something. Can you do that?" I'm like, I'm not good with going that young. I can do like, you know, mid late teens, but that's rough. And I gave it a shot and it just really wasn't working. And I said, "You know what? I actually know somebody that does that kind of voice amazing." And I reached out to her and she auditioned and she, you know, they hired her. And I've done that with several different people where I've been like, "Hey, you should try out for this because I'm not a good fit for this." Or, and I would love to see some of that back. I've never had anybody say, "You know what, Anthony would be a really, really good fit for this. Let me send this to him." Aside from, you know, friends that see like, you know, TikTok posts or something like that. We're like, "Hey, there's a casting call for this." They'll send that my way. And I love that. That's great. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean like fellow voice actors. I mean, like, I want to feel like a part of this group. I want to be one of you guys. I don't want it to just be like who's going to climb over the other to get to the top.
Hmm. No,
I really want to lift each other up.
that's what I'm wanting. Not even just this podcast, but the Discord that you're in right now. I really want this to be that click where we're all just creative people, ambitious entrepreneurs in different fields, and we're all like, "Hey, this is, you know, let's help each other out." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, like, and I even have what is it? It's the Voice Actors Hub because I was like, yeah, I need a spot for me and Anthony to just sit there and chill and like post our stuff, you know? So I use like voices.com. I use Vistaprint. I ordered a bunch of business cards for my voice acting. And it's actually funny. So um, my name is spelled Kris. So the voice acting business card says, "Need a voice actor." Mine is Kris, it's all clear. I don't know. I thought it was funny. But yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
it's something neat. And then I just ordered a bunch of cards for the podcast, and I'm gonna go print out some posters, and I've got these little bumper stickers that were super expensive, by the way. Just mailing those out. I've got like a bunch of like mail cards over here, and I'm just like, you know, like I'm hoping that this can be my click. You know, that like the Discord
That's
can
like,
blow up, and that we can all like motivate and inspire each other. And I'm telling you right now, like it's, you know, everybody who's with me, like we're going together. Like this podcast, if it blows up tomorrow, we're blowing up tomorrow. You feel me? Like everybody here. I mean, from you've got Ryan who has his own hot sauce brand. You've got
that's
Larimore who
good.
has his own published books. You've got Maggie who's a sound therapist. Adeline who does like spiritual walks. Like she's able to like kind of talk to spirits and stuff. Like that's her thing. You've got all of these creative, beautiful people, and you see Sayer. He's actually a good friend of mine. He actually's trying to start his own his own video game production and all of this. And we might be in different avenues, but man, we're living in the same neighborhood of entrepreneurship, of being ambitious, and really wanting to push ourselves out there, put ourselves out there. So the whole point of this podcast is to say, hey, we're all in this together. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all dreamers. And we're going to sit here together. We're going to drink some coffee, listen to some lo-fi music, and just have a great time with each other. So I'm going to promise you this right now, that even if I'm completely unmotivated, if you call me and you're like, "Listen, man, I've got an audition tomorrow, or I haven't had an audition in a year and I'm just out of it," oh, we're going to sit and we're going to have a great time. Maybe I'll invite you to one of my D&D sessions where I'm DMing, or maybe, I'll come into yours and I'll be a voice actor for yours. Like, hello there, young traveler.
No, that would be incredible. I'm
Yeah.
running a Mass Effect themed campaign right now because that's my autistic special interest. I love my Mass Effect. Happy N7 Day, by the way, everybody. But
I don't know what that is. N7? Is that something in Mass Effect?
N7 Day, November 7th. Yes, for Mass. Just my little little nerdy group there. But we do. That's our campaign that we do, and I started going hard for it. I got voice mod so that I could like custom make filters to do live in Discord for the different species. And it's so much fun. And you know what's funny, Chris? I paid for that software, like for, a lifetime of that software. And I'm like, you know what if, and now sometimes I land jobs using that software, just doing silly voices. Like I have this one dude that's creating this world, and I play like this really fun Arabic demon for his one show, and I use voice mod for it, and it's great. It sounds great. He loves it. I love it. I'm getting paid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sorry for the tangent there.
No, that's the whole point of this, man. I love it. I love conversations like this because they remind me that creativity, it doesn't come from calm. It comes from the chaos that finds its rhythm. Big thanks to Anthony for stepping into the walk-in today and letting us peek inside of that racing, brilliant brain. Go follow his work, support his voice journey, and remember, no matter how loud the world gets, your voice still matters. This has been The Walk-In. I'm still your new Yoki host, and I'll see you next episode.